by another former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Omar Abdullah. He said that the government of India should pressurize Israel to bring peace because Israel's actions over the last 1 year have to be condemned. Now, these actions include eliminating those who've spilled blood of innocents for decades together. Protests erupted in Kashmir over Nasrallah's killing as well, with demonstrators in Srinagar and Budgam waving black flags and raising anti-Israel and anti-US slogans. There were counter-protests against Mehbooba Mufti and Omar Abdullah as well. This predictably armed the BJP. Top leaders of the Saffron Party lined up to question Mehbooba and Omar for their sympathy for a man who led Hezbollah that has been designated as a terror group by more than 60 countries and organizations. They asked why there were no tears from Mehbooba or Omar for Hindus who were killed in Bangladesh and Pakistan. So who exactly is Hassan Nasrallah, was Hassan Nasrallah before he was eliminated? The man that has been tagged a martyr and whose death is being condemned from many quarters here in India. This is what his rap sheet of terror, so to say, looks like. In 1983 to 84, there were attacks on US embassies, on US Marine barracks in Beirut. It resulted in over 300 deaths, both of American citizens and of Lebanese. All of these were orchestrated by the Hezbollah. In 1985, a Trans World Airlines flight was hijacked by an alleged Hezbollah member who shot and killed a US Navy diver. Then in 2005, a car bomb in Beirut killed Lebanon's former premier. United Nations investigators pointed to Hezbollah and Syria as likely culprits. A year later, Hezbollah shut down Lebanon's parliament for 18 months after the prime minister there rejected Nasrallah's demand for blocking a veto. In May 2008, Hezbollah gunmen attacked opponents in several cities, this despite Nasrallah had promised to avoid violence against fellow Lebanese. And most recently, a blast caused by 2,750 tons of ammonium nitrate under Hezbollah control killed 218 people. It left 3 lakh people homeless and caused extensive damage. Is this the man that Mehbooba Mufti, Omar Abdullah and the likes of them should be shedding any tears for? Now, this is not the first time that either of them have shown a soft spot for terror, says the BJP. In 2016, when asked about a particular encounter, Mehbooba Mufti said that had they known that Burhan Wani was there, he would have been given a second chance. 3 years later, a few months before general elections in 2019, Mehbooba Mufti said that local militants are like sons of soil and maximum efforts should be made to save them because they are assets. She added that talks should be held with Pakistan and with separatists ahead of elections. Omar Abdullah too has on multiple occasions taken a similar stance. He slammed the execution of Afzal Guru back in 2013. He said that this would reinforce a sense of alienation and injustice among Kashmiri youth. He said that the long-term implications of Guru's hanging were far more worrying because the new generation of youth in Jammu and Kashmir identify with Afzal Guru. In 2016, he said that Burhan Wani's ability to recruit in the terror fold from his grave will far outstrip anything he could have done in social media. And just this month, in September this year, he stoked controversy when he said that Afzal Guru's execution served no purpose. So while we have 2 leaders, 2 former Chief Ministers of Jammu and Kashmir come out and hold such a sentiment for a man who was at the helm of affairs of a terror organization, is eulogizing terror become somewhat of a habit for both the NC and the PDP? That's a question we ask on Plain Speak tonight.
इस वाकये से और भी ज्यादा ये साबित पुख्ता होगी ये बात कि वो वाकई क्रिमिनल है, जिसने फलस्तीन में हजारों बच्चे, औरतें, बुजुर्ग, नौजवानों को शहीद किया और अब लेबनान में जा रहा है। तो इसकी जितनी भी मजम्मत हो वो मुझे लगता है कम है।
महबूबा जी ने अपने सारे एंगेजमेंट्स कैंसिल किए। मैं यहाँ इसलिए आई क्योंकि लोग मेरा वेट कर रहे थे, बट हार्ट्स ऑफ हैवी, हमारे दिल में बहुत दर्द है। आप जानते हैं नसरुल्लाह साहब ने जहाँ भी आज़ाब शिकस्त जुल्म हो रहा था, खासतौर से गाजा में, उनने उन लोगों के लिए लड़ा जो उनके थे भी नहीं। He wasn't even from there. So our hearts are heavy and people here should have the right to protest. अगर वो प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं, आपको क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
This assassination, this killing or this sacrifice of Hassan Nasrallah symbolizes that resistance. So in solidarity with the people of Palestine and with the people of Lebanon.
जब हमारे हिंदू का ऊपर आक्रमण होते हैं, कभी महबूबा मुफ्ती अपना कार्यक्रम को कैंसिल किया था क्या? ये लोग हिंदू विरोधी है और कुछ नहीं है, उनका डीएनए ही हिंदू विरोधी है।
Let's open this up. Vakar Bhatti, member of the JNK Apni Party, joins us. Nikul Patel, leader of the Congress. Abhijit Mitra, senior fellow at the IPCS. And Sanjay Rana, political analyst, is with us. Let me open up by asking Nikul Patel. Do you agree with what the NC, your alliance partner in Jammu and Kashmir, says? That a man who was at the helm of affairs of a terror organization like the Hezbollah is a martyr. And it is only going to make this resistance stronger.
That can be their own perception. I think Israel is not a part of India, and definitely whatever happening in our country, that is, we have to take a note of it. Anyone who is not working in the integrity of the country never be supported, and definitely Congress had never supported anti-terror activity or anti-India activity. That may be their own perception regarding supporting a martyr. If you see, they are feeling that they are like whatever happening in India, Naxalites are treated as they are not nationalists, they are Naxalites. So for them, they can be the martyr. For people like us or a country like us, we feel that it should not be supported anymore.
So you agree that Hassan Nasrallah should not be called a martyr, like the NC and the PDP has done?
Definitely, why not? Definitely, sure.
Vakar Bhatti? Not a martyr, somebody who spilled blood of innocents, including Lebanese citizens for decades together, has been banned by several Arab nations as well, has been designated a terror organization by Arab nations as well. Why are we seeing anyone shed tears over that?
हमारे लिए शहीद है, पूरे जम्मू कश्मीर के लिए भी, पूरी दुनिया के मुसलमानों के लिए शहीद है। आपको जो कहना है, जिसको जो कहना है वो कहता रहे अपने हिसाब से। उसकी मर्जी से हमने नहीं बोलना है ना, उसकी जबान से हमने अपनी जबान का इस्तेमाल करना है। जब इजराइल टेरर अटैक करता है फलस्तीनियों के, 75 साल में लाखों लोगों को शहीद कर चुका है, लाखों घर तबाह कर चुका है, बट कभी भी इंडियन मीडिया के अंदर इजराइल को टेररिस्ट कंट्री नहीं कहा जाता, कभी भी यहूदियों को टेररिस्ट नहीं कहा जाता,
क्योंकि इजराइल को किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ने, ना यूनाइटेड नेशंस ने, ना 60 कंट्रियों ने एक टेरर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बोला है। But 60 countries, including many Arab nations, have designated Hezbollah as a terror organization.
मैडम जी, कई बार आप देखें यूनाइटेड नेशन में खुलेआम बोला है कि जिन्होंने अपना दी है फलस्तीनियों ने ही अपना दी थी। अब मैं आपको पूछूंगा, आपके स्टूडियो में कल मुझे आप अपना दे देंगे, आप मुझे अपने घर में पनाह देंगे। अगर कहीं मुझे मुश्किल में मैं आपके घर में पनाह लेता हूँ, कल मैं ही आपको घर से बाहर निकाल के आपका कत्ल करूँ, आपका नुकसान करूंगा, तो टेरर कौन हुआ? टेरर तो इजराइल है, टेरर तो वो लोग हैं, टेरर तो उन्होंने फैलाया जिन्होंने जाकर घर में मेहमानदारी की जगह उन्होंने उसी घर का कत्ल किया है। तो दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा आतंकवाद यहूद है, दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा आतंकवाद इजराइल है। हमें तस्लीम करना चाहिए कि आतंकवाद, अगर आज दुनिया में कहीं आतंकवाद है तो इजराइल से बड़ा आतंकवाद कहीं नहीं हो सकता। और रही हिजबुल्लाह की, हिजबुल्लाह जो है वो मुस्लिमों के साथ खड़ा है, वो हक के साथ खड़ा है, और वो डिफेंस में अपने लोगों के लिए खड़ा है। डिफेंस में अगर उनकी जान जाती है तो उसका मतलब वो टेररिस्ट नहीं हुए। इस्लाम खुद कहता है, कुरान है, कुरान नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की हदीस है कि अगर आपके ऊपर कोई हमला करे, आपके घर को कोई लूटने आए, आपको कोई कत्लेआम करे, तो उसका मुकाबला कीजिए, जालिम का साथ मत दीजिए, जालिम के खिलाफ बोलिए, जालिम को रोकिए। अगर वो ना रुके तो उसका कत्ल करना भी इस्लाम उसको जायज करता है, क्योंकि वो जालिम है, वो नहत्तों को मारता है, वो बच्चों को मारता है, वो माऊ बहनों का बलात्कार करता है। तो ऐसे लोगों का जीने का कोई हक ही नहीं होता है।
तो उसी लॉजिक से जो 300 लोग यूएस एम्बेसी के स्टाफ को इंक्लूडेड मारे गए थे हिजबुल्लाह अटैक में, वो भी निहत्ते थे। जुल्म तो उन पर भी हुआ जो हिजबुल्लाह ने किया।
नहीं, मैं कह रहा हूँ निहत्ता कहीं भी मरे, लेकिन स्टार्ट कौन कर रहा है? देखिए ना, इस टाइम 20 लाख घर फलस्तीन के तबाह हो गए हैं, 20 लाख से ज्यादा लोग बेघर हो चुके हैं, हजारों बच्चों को शहीद कर दिया गया है। इस एक साल के अंदर 80,000 से ज्यादा फलस्तीनियों को शहीद कर दिया गया है। तो 80,000 फलस्तीनियों को शहीद करने वाले जो घर वाले होंगे, क्या वो बदला नहीं लेंगे? क्या वो फिर इजराइल की आर्मी को फूल माला ही डालेंगे?
तो इजराइल की आर्मी के साथ लड़ाई हो रही है, उसमें निहत्ते इनोसेंट्स की जान क्यों जा रही है? और जब जा रही है तो क्या उसके लिए इंडिया के पॉलिटिशियंस को आंसू बहाने चाहिए?
देखिए, इंडिया का पॉलिटिशियन हो जिसके अंदर इंसानियत है, जो इंसान है, वो हमेशा मजलूम के साथ खड़ा होगा। फलस्तीनी मजलूम है 75 साल से, उनके ऊपर कब्जा हुआ है, उनके घरों को लूटा गया है, उनकी माँ बहनों की इज्जतें लूटी गई हैं, वहां के बच्चों को शहीद किया गया है। और जो इंसान है, चाहे वो हिंदू हो, मुस्लिम हो, सिख हो, वो फलस्तीन के साथ खड़ा है।
बिल्कुल, बट पैलेस्टीन की बात ही नहीं हो रही है, ना कि पैलेस्टीनियंस की बात हो रही है। बात हसन नसरल्लाह और हिजबुल्लाह की हो रही है। उनके लिए क्यों आंसू बहाए जा रहे हैं?
देखिए मैं जहां हिजबुल्लाह की बात करते हैं, हिजबुल्लाह के चीफ जो शहीद हुए हैं, वो तो अपनी कौम का दिफा करने के लिए वहां लड़े हैं, वो तो खड़े थे जिहाद के लिए, वो तो किसी को मारने वहां नहीं गए ना। उनके ऊपर हमले हुए हैं, उनका कत्लेआम हुआ, उनके परिवार का कत्लेआम हुआ, तो वो तो अपने डिफेंस के लिए खड़ा होगा ना। मैं और आप अगर अपने घर के लिए डिफेंस के लिए खड़े होंगे और डिफेंस में हम किसी को मार रहे हैं, तो उसका मतलब थोड़ी है हम टेररिस्ट हैं। टेररिस्ट तो वो है जो हमारे घर में आकर हमें मार रहा है।
डिफेंस के लिए अगर सालों साल निहत्ते in hundreds have been killed, it's not self-defense anymore. But let me get in the other panelists as well. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, this seems to be the sort of justification that's coming to the fore from multiple quarters in India, from parties in Jammu and Kashmir, that he was a martyr, he was fighting for the larger cause, and he didn't start the war. Someone else did, he was just paying back.
Look, no, nothing ever happened to Mr. Nasrallah's family ever, all right? He wasn't even a refugee. He was a Lebanese citizen, born in Lebanon, brought up in Lebanon, went to Najaf and Qum to study, and came back out there. The man used to sit and preside over the indiscriminate bombing of Israeli civilians with imprecise rockets and imprecise drones that can't be targeted properly at all. We also need to be very clear about the definition of a terrorist. Definitionally, a state cannot indulge in terrorism. Only militias and sub-state actors can, which is exactly what Hezbollah was. If the Lebanese state does the same thing, it becomes a war crime, not terrorism. Terrorism only applies to non-state and sub-state actors, which is what Hezbollah was, and therefore it was a terrorist. But I'm really not surprised by the kind of circular logic we saw from the previous panelists. You see, there's not 1 inch of Lebanese soil that's under occupation. We need to remember Hezbollah, and specifically Hassan Nasrallah, were the ones that declared war on Israel on the 8th of October 2023. One day after Hamas went into Israel, went around raping, killing, burning, torturing Israeli civilians, including, let me remind you, 10 Indian nationals or Indian people of Indian origin who were killed, one of whom still remains a hostage inside Gaza. So it's very curious, of course, that people in Jammu and Kashmir don't identify themselves as Indians, have no sympathy for the 10 Indians who were killed or taken hostage, but have heaps of sympathy for anybody supporting their kidnappers, rapists, torturers, and murderers. But, you know, this is nothing new. We've seen this kind of goalpost shifting and cyclic logic and circular arguments even before, during the phase of insurgency in Kashmir. Nothing new.
Nothing new, not in terms of the kind of sentiment that's being whipped up, Sanjay Rana. Nothing new in the kind of comments that have come to the fore from Mehbooba Mufti or Omar Abdullah or anybody from his party. We've seen this kind of commentary that has come to the fore on multiple occasions in the past as well. But this is important also because it's election season in Jammu and Kashmir. Tomorrow, in fact, we're going to be seeing another phase of voting happen there.
Good evening, fellow president. First of all, we need to understand why it's happening. It's happening because of some kind of law which they have made is close community. And I remember the Baba Sahib Ambedkar comment which we have made for the Muslims. I'm not going to quote here. I was hearing, listening very carefully to my, Jammu and Kashmir political party leader. He said, if somebody is going to attack on us, obviously they have to fight. Yes, you have all the rights to fight against these people. But who's attacking on you? Israel is fighting for their self and fighting with Palestine or fighting with Hamas, fighting with Hezbollah. They are not attacking on Jammu and Kashmir, on India. Why are you crying? I fail to understand why this kind of protest is happening in India. What kind of messaging we are going to give to our own people? It's not a radicalization. It's not Islamist radicalization which is happening in India. When you talk about killing of innocent people, why not crying for Ukraine and Russia war? Ukraine and Russia war is also happening, and a lot of people lost their life in this war, and obviously moved from one country to another country. Why not crying for them? You need to understand why you're crying. You need to understand what is humanity and what is not. What is terrorism? What is not? So you are not able to differentiate between the terrorism and the common civilian and common war. He was absolutely not a martyr. He was absolutely terrorist in my view, and it was being declared by 60 countries. It's not. I'm not only one who's telling. And why you are sympathizing with such kind of terrorist who has been killing so many people? Forget about Israel. I'm not at all talking about Israel. He killed Lebanese where he born, number one. Number two, when we talk about Muslim Brotherhood, why Saudi Arabia is not crying? Why Lebanese are not crying? Why UAE is not crying? Why Iran is not crying? Because they know what is right, what is wrong. So people, I fail to understand the Muslim, especially for Jammu and Kashmir leadership, like PDP leader. She has a history. Obviously, look at Mufti Muhammad Said when he became obviously become Home Minister of India. What kind of a statement he has given? He said, "हमारे उग्रवादी भाइयों का धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूँ." That kind of sentiment, that kind of statement, that kind of feeling he had, and obviously it will come in his daughter as well as in his party. So these kind of mindset is very, very dangerous for the country like India, number one. Number two, government should not allow any kind of agitation or protest which is happening across India, whether Jammu and Kashmir, Lucknow or Sultanpur, any other places, because these protests are giving a wrong message, and is absolutely hampering the the beauty of our country. So if you have anything, you can protest for yourself, no harm. You can protest for your right, no harm. But why are you protesting?
But they say they're standing for the cause of Palestinians, like Vakar Bhatti was also saying, and protesting peacefully is a right that every Indian citizen has under democracy.
Yes, you have all the rights. Similar kind of protests happened on 11th August 2012. Remember that Mumbai one? They were protesting for whom? They were protesting for Rohingyas, and they destroyed 3 crores property and killed so many policemen and civilians. So what exactly they were doing? They were fighting for themselves. If you have any problem, you can fight, you can protest, you can do registration, no harm. But fighting for the Rohingyas, fighting or doing protest for Palestinians, fighting for terrorist organizations, sympathizing with the terrorists, what kind of mindset you are demonstrating here? It shows somehow, somewhere you believe in, not believing in country or geography or demography. You believe in some religious sentiments, which is bad. And why I'm quoting again and again about Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia simply said it's not going to allow anyone to protest in this country. They are bigger Muslim than you guys, but still you are protesting because you are getting a right here. Government is allowing it. This is freedom of speech. It's a democratic country. That's why you can do it. But this is not to do. It's not a way to run the country. It's not the way to run the party.
So Vakar Bhatti, only because you have the freedom of speech available here does not mean you abuse it or misuse it, because that's what a lot of these people seem to be doing.
देखिए, अभी जो सर बात कर रही थी, मैं इनको याद दिला देना चाहता हूँ, आज से 1-2 महीने पहले जब बांग्लादेश में तख्ता पलटा शेख हसीना का, तो तब वहाँ हिंदुओं के साथ कुछ मसले हुए, छोटी कोई घटना हुई उस मुल्क में, तो पूरे हिंदुस्तान में जगह जगह पर जाकर यूपी वाले बिहारियों को, कुछ बांग्लादेशी थे, चुन कर भगवादारियों ने, बजरंग दल वालों ने, आरएसएस वालों ने वहां मार पिटाई स्टार्ट कर दी, उनकी झोपड़ियों को आग लगाना स्टार्ट कर दिया। तो तब आप मुझे बताओ कि आपका बांग्लादेश के हिंदुओं से क्या लेना देना था? वो तो बांग्लादेशी हिंदू था, तो फिर आपका रिश्ता वहां क्या था? जैसे आप हमें बोल रहे हो कि मुसलमानों का क्या लेना देना ईरान के मुसलमानों के साथ, सीरिया के मुसलमानों के साथ, फलस्तीन के मुसलमानों के साथ, या अरब के मुसलमानों के साथ आपका क्या रिश्ता? तो मैं भी ये पलट के आपसे सवाल पूछता हूँ कि बांग्लादेश के हिंदुओं के साथ आपका क्या रिश्ता है? आप मासी के बेटे लगते हैं, मामा के बेटे लगते हैं वो?
सर, दिस इज लाइक कंपेयरिंग एप्पल्स एंड ऑरेंजेस। पहली बात तो आप कहते हैं छोटी घटनाएं हो रही है हिंदुओं के खिलाफ बांग्लादेश में, जो वो छोटी घटनाएं नहीं है। अगर आपके सालों साल का घर जलाया जाए, आपके मंदिरों में जाके मूर्तियां तोड़ी जाए, तो वो छोटी घटना नहीं होती। दूसरी बात नहीं, वो फेक नहीं थे सर। हमने बात की है वहां के लोगों से, हमारे रिपोर्टर्स गए हैं वहां ऑन ग्राउंड, ये कोई झूठी बात नहीं है। In fact, even today, there are threats that are coming to the fore for the Hindu community in Bangladesh, asking them to leave. But that's besides the point. Coming back, that's not what we're discussing. Coming back to what we're talking about. Who you're raising voice for the Muslim community in Palestine, in Gaza, you're well within your rights to do that. Why back a man who was at the helm of a terror organization is a question we're asking. Why eulogize someone who's taken pride in killing innocent people over the decades? Who said right after Hamas attacked innocent people attending a music festival on October 7th, said there was great secrecy in how this operation was carried out, and that is why it became so successful.
हमास अटैक करे तो होनेस्ट, हमास अटैक करे तो सिविलियंस, हमास अटैक करे तो अवाम, लेकिन इजराइल अटैक करे तो टेररिस्ट. इजराइल बच्चों को मारे.
This gentleman is talking absolutely crap at the moment.
But sir,
तो हमास अटैक करे तो बस आम आदमी.
Hamas, a designated terror organization. Hezbollah, a designated terror organization. Like I said right at the start, designated by a lot of Muslim countries, a lot of Arab nations have come out and called out what Hezbollah stood for, and that was terror.
मैम प्रॉब्लम क्या है ना, हम लोगों को सोचने की हमें सोचना पड़ेगा कि हम किस चीज पे जा रहे हैं. मैम देखिए, जब हमास हमला करे, क्योंकि नाचने गाने वालों को हमास ने मार दिया, तो वो हमास टेरर हो गया. और यहूदी जब
नाचने गाने वालों पे अटैक किया, ये आपकी प्रॉब्लम है.
Babies were killed, Indian workers were killed. किसको आप नाचने गाने वाले बोल रहे हैं?
क्या है कि वो म्यूजिक फेस्टिवल था और लोग वहाँ नाचने या गाने जा रहे थे, तो उनको मार दिया तो कोई बात नहीं. क्या आप ये कहना चाह रहे हैं?
कुरान पढ़ने वालों को, नमाज पढ़ने वालों को तो टेररिस्ट.
आपको पता है हमास वाले ने पूरा नशा करके रखा था, कोकेन और मेथ करके रखा था, गांजेड़ी थे, नशेड़ी थे.
गांजा इधर मिलता है इंडिया में, गांजा इंडिया में मिलता है.
अच्छा,
इंडिया में गांजा उधर कहाँ मिलता है? जनाब क्या बात करते हो, पता नहीं कहाँ से. देखो, जरूरी होता कि जिसको
This is your Hezbollah man Sameer Kantar. Do you know what he did? Do you know what Sameer Kantar did? He smashed 2 5-year-old babies' heads against the wall. This is who you're supporting. This is who you're supporting. This is who you're supporting. You're supporting babies' heads being smashed against walls. You're supporting the raping of women. You're supporting the raping of women. You're supporting burning people alive. This is who you're supporting. What's the difference between you and ISIS?
वकार भाटी जी मुझे एक बात बताइए. वकार भाटी जी मुझे एक बात बताइए. हसन नसरल्ला, जिसके लिए आज आंसू टपक रहे हैं, जिसकी शहादत के गुण गाए जा रहे हैं, उन्होंने कहा था जूस आर द सोर्स ऑफ ऑल करप्शन एंड डिसेप्शन. हॉलोकॉस्ट कभी हुआ ही नहीं था.
देखिए,
क्या इस बात से आप अग्री करते हैं? पहले तो ये बताइए. और अगर अग्री करते हैं, जो हिस्टोरिकली बताई जा रही है, जो हिस्टोरिकली प्रूवन चीज है, बट हम नहीं मानेंगे तो वो हुई नहीं, क्या इस फिलॉसफी से हम चल रहे हैं?
देखिए, आपको क्या करना है, इजराइल में क्या हो रहा है या फलस्तीन में क्या करना है, पहले तो मुझे आप ये क्वेश्चन बताओ ना, आपको क्यों प्रॉब्लम हो रही है?
हमको वहां क्या हो रहा है उससे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं. हमको महबूबा मुफ्ती और उमर अब्दुल्ला यहाँ क्या बोल रहे हैं उससे प्रॉब्लम है. और अगर आप कहते हैं कि आप उन लोगों के लिए खड़े हो सकते हैं, तो अगर हमने सवाल उठाए तो क्यों गलत है? सपोर्ट करना ठीक है, लेकिन सवाल उठाना गलत है. क्या आप ये कह रहे हैं?
मान लिया मेरा रिश्ता तो हिजबुल्लाह के साथ, हिजबुल्लाह के लोगों के साथ, फलस्तीन के साथ ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह का है. आपका इजराइल के शहूदियों के साथ क्या रिश्ता, मुझे ये पहले बता दें. आपको क्यों तकलीफ हो रही है?
तकलीफ तो बिल्कुल नहीं हो रही. तकलीफ इस बात की हो रही है कि इनोसेंट मारे जा रहे हैं, और जिस आदमी उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के हेल्प पे था, उसके लिए इंडिया में आंसू बहाए जा रहे हैं. इंडिया में जो कमेंट्स हो रहे हैं उसकी बात हो रही है.
मारे जा रहे हैं ना. नहीं, मुसलमान बेगुनाह मरे तो आपको दर्द नहीं होता ना? क्यों?
कोई भी इनोसेंट, कोई भी निहत्था मारा जाए, हिंदू, मुसलमान, जू, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the religion of the innocent person here is. The fact is that he or she was innocent.
बकर जी, आपका अबू बकर अल-बगदादी से भी ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह का रिश्ता है ना? उसामा बिन लादेन से भी ला इलाहा का रिश्ता है ना?
ये कहाँ हो गया? इजराइल ने
है या नहीं?
गाजा पट्टी पे
है या नहीं बकर जी? आपका उसामा बिन लादेन से ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह का रिश्ता है, हाँ या नहीं?
क्या?
हाँ या नहीं?
क्या?
आपका अल-कायदा और उसामा बिन लादेन से भी ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह का रिश्ता है ना?
देखिए मेरी बात,
हाँ या ना? सीधे क्वेश्चन.
हाँ या ना क्या करें? कल तक आप ही तालिबान को आतंकवादी
हाँ
बोलते
या
थे,
ना?
अभी
आपका रिश्ता है या नहीं ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह का ओसामा बिन लादेन के साथ, अबू बकर अल
अच्छा
बगदादी के साथ?
मुझे बताइए, अभी मोदी जी या मोदी की सरकार तालिबानियों को क्या मानती है, पहले मुझे बताइए।
वो पहले मैंने आपको सवाल पूछा है, वो
मैं
उसका
पहले
जवाब
तालिबानियों को
दीजिए।
क्या मानते हैं?
आपका
तालिबानी
अलकायदा
आपको
के
अच्छे
साथ,
अच्छा हो गया।
आईसिस के साथ ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह का रिश्ता है या नहीं?
मैं आपको पूछ रहा हूँ, तालिबानी आपके लिए क्या है आजकल?
आजकल कुछ भी नहीं है, वी डोंट रिकॉग्नाइज।
क्या मतलब वो?
अब
मैं पहले तो उसको
आप उत्तर दीजिए, अब आप उत्तर दीजिए।
हैं?
मैंने आपका उत्तर दिया, नाउ यू आंसर माय क्वेश्चन।
मैं आपके लिए नहीं, इंडिया के लिए क्या है?
नहीं
तालिबानी
तो
क्या
आप
है?
मानते हैं, तो आप मानते हैं कि आप
तालिबान
ओसामा बिन लादेन से रिश्ता रखते हैं और अबू बकर अल बगदादी से रिश्ता रखते हैं। आपका ला इलाहा का रिश्ता है
Okay,
ना?
terror in all
है ना?
forms should be condemned, should be called out, and there are no two ways about that. Nikul Patel, I just want to ask you one question. This comes, like I said, in the backdrop of elections in Jammu and Kashmir. One of your alliance partners have said what they said. They stand by what they say. You say you don't agree with it. But is this something that you could face backlash for in election season?
No, definitely not. Over here, if we are talking of what is happening in Jammu and Kashmir, and people of few groups of Kashmir are supporting this kind of activity and protesting in the Jammu and Kashmir, definitely is a matter of concern to our country, because
These few
whatever
groups also include your
happening
alliance
is-
partners, the National Conference. One of its members
The
of
PDP
parliament
is
called
also-
off their campaign ahead of elections.
The PDP is also a BJP ally. We are not here discussing about an ally and anything. We are here to be concerned about what is happening in India. We are very much concerned that whatever happening is not correct, because the person to whom the people are supporting is not the correct one. It's a terrorism, and terrorists are not supported on our country floor.
I do
have
hope
given
your
a-
alliance partner hears that, sir, because I don't think that's where the
Definitely,
sentiment
have
they are
to
coming
hear.
from.
In India, if PDP is supporting this kind of activity, do Bharatiya Janata Party is supporting this entire
The
activity?
PDP,
What
the
is happening in
BJP
the
has
Jammu and
long ago
Kashmir?
dumped the PDP.
Never. No one is going to
But the
support.
BJP
No
has
one
long
is
ago
going to
dumped the
support
PDP.
Such kind of activity
Not
anywhere
the
in
case with the
country.
Congress and the National Conference.
That is what I am telling. That is what I am telling. Right now, BJP is not here.
मैडम,
That same thing
कांग्रेस
can
ने
be.
जम्मू कश्मीर में
But the
क्यों
BJP,
बनाया
but
है?
the BJP,
Support
but the
such
BJP,
activity.
Nikul Patel has dumped the PDP. They're not answerable for what the PDP does anymore, is what they say. But you are answerable for what the National Conference does, because you are in alliance with them in Jammu and Kashmir, them being the senior partner in that alliance.
So I am putting my statement from my party that we are not supporting such statement that has been given. That is what I am telling you on this platform, and such thing activity never been supported by the Congress. If you have seen the history, then you can feel it.
It's
Whenever it
interesting,
is an
Nikul Patel, that you
anti-nationalist
say
or
that your party
separatist
does not
movement,
stand with
Congress
this,
has
but the
never
Apni
supported.
party says Congress in Jammu and Kashmir agrees with what Omar Abdullah and his leaders are saying. It's interesting. Perhaps the Congress also needs to regroup and figure out what their stand on this entire situation
This
is.
is a different topic. You are taking a wrong way. We are over here with the Alliance for Statehood of Jammu and Kashmir, and not to support Israel terrorist who is doing something
Sure.
on his floor of the country.
Sure.
You are making a wrong perception and wrong argument and
No,
wrong discussion.
it's not a wrong perception that I'm trying to make. Another party from Jammu and Kashmir is telling us what they think is happening on ground.
I think that
I am not
you
saying
ever
that.
think
Bagar
Congress
Bhatti
has
is saying
supported
it.
anti-national or anti-terrorist or anti-separatist
जम्मू
activity.
कश्मीर में
I don't
कांग्रेस के
understand.
जितने भी
On
कैंडिडेट
what
चुनाव
logic
लड़
you
रहे
are
हैं, उनको
saying that
दिल्ली
we are
जाके
supporting
दे
such
दीजिए।
activity?
I am not, sir. That's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. JNK
That
Apni
is what
party,
I'm
which is
telling.
in
That is
Jammu
what
and
I'm
Kashmir, is
conveying.
saying that your
That
leaders
is what
from the
I'm
Union
conveying
Territory
to you
have the same
on this
sentiment as the
platform.
National
I'm-
Conference and the PDP.
राइट
No
जम्मू
election.
कश्मीर
That is
में
not.
जितने
Nothing is
भी
going to
कैंडिडेट
affect
हैं
to the
कांग्रेस
election,
के,
because
मुस्लिम
ultimately in our
कैंडिडेट हैं,
country, what is
उसमें
important right now
उन्होंने
is the
इजराइल को
statehood
कंडेम
of the
किया
Jammu
और
and
इजराइल
Kashmir.
की मजम्मत की और
Bharatiya
इजराइल
Janata
को
Party has
टेररिस्ट
deprived the people
बोला।
of Jammu and Kashmir, and that is more important. And Congress is
Sure.
fighting for that.
Sure.
Not for
So
terrorism.
the Congress
not
does
for
not agree with what
any
the National
people who is
Conference
doing
has said. The
terrorism at their
PDP
own
on
country.
its own has said what they've said. Whether this is going to have an impact on elections or not, and whether this is going to snowball, we'll keep a track of that. But I have to leave it here. I thank you, gentlemen, for joining us here on this broadcast and sharing your perspective. But the situation in West Asia continues to escalate because Israel continues to pound Hezbollah. There are more strikes that we've seen after the elimination of Hassan Nasrallah as well. Take a look at this report.
Ambulances were seen rushing through streets in southern Lebanon on Sunday as Israel pressed Hezbollah with more strikes after killing the Iran-backed group's leader Syed Hassan Nasrallah in an escalating military campaign. Israel's attacks have dealt a stunning succession of blows to Hezbollah after almost a year of cross-border fire, killing much of its leadership and revealing gaping security holes. Also Sunday, video posted to social media showed a large fireball and smoke plume above the port city of Hodeidah in Yemen. Israel said it hit targets there in response to missile attacks by the Iran-backed Houthis on Israel in recent days. Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said, quote, "Our message is clear. For us, no place is too far." White House National Security spokesperson John Kirby said all-out war with Hezbollah or Iran would not help residents of northern Israel return to their homes. He said diplomacy remains the right path. In Iran, which helped create Hezbollah in the early 1980s, senior figures mourn the death of Nasrallah. The country's interior minister said such assassinations, blind and covert assassinations, will have no result for the survival of this regime. Nasrallah's body was recovered intact from the site of Friday's strike, a medical source and a security source told Reuters on Sunday. Hezbollah has not yet said when his funeral will be held.
Well, that is time for a quick break here on this edition of Plain Speak. But on the other side, we'll get to the big debate from Tamil Nadu. This is to do with the storm over Udhayanidhi Stalin's elevation. Do stay tuned for that.
The search for the answer.
Ambulances were seen rushing through streets in southern Lebanon on Sunday, as Israel pressed Hezbollah with more strikes after killing the Iran-backed group's leader Syed Hassan Nasrallah in an escalating military campaign. Israel's attacks have dealt a stunning succession of blows to Hezbollah after almost a year of cross-border fire, killing much of its leadership and revealing gaping security holes. Also Sunday, video posted to social media showed a large fireball and smoke plume above the port city of Hodeidah in Yemen. Israel said it hit targets there in response to missile attacks by the Iran-backed Houthis on Israel in recent days. Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said, quote, "Our message is clear. For us, no place is too far." White House National Security spokesperson John Kirby said all-out war with Hezbollah or Iran would not help residents of northern Israel return to their homes. He said diplomacy remains the right path. In Iran, which helped create Hezbollah in the early 1980s, senior figures mourn the death of Nasrallah. The country's interior minister said such assassinations, blind and covert assassinations, will have no result for the survival of this regime. Nasrallah's body was recovered intact from the site of Friday's strike, a medical source and a security source told Reuters on Sunday. Hezbollah has not yet said when his funeral will be held.
Are you going to talk to Prime Minister Netanyahu? You haven't had anything to say to him?
Yes, I will be talking to him, and I'll tell you what I say to him when I talk to him.
Yes, sir. Can an all-out war in the Middle East be avoided?
It has to be. We really have to avoid it. And we've already taken precautions relative to our embassies and personnel who want to leave, but we're not there yet. But we're working like hell with the French and many others.
welcome back. Udhayanidhi Stalin, the 45-year-old son of Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, M.K. Stalin, has been elevated to the post of the Deputy Chief Minister in the state. This decision marks an important moment in the ongoing leadership consolidation within the ruling DMK. For one, it solidifies Udhayanidhi's growing influence within the party and the government. His ascendance to Deputy Chief Minister's position also comes as he continues to attract national attention. Remember, earlier this year, he sparked a controversy with his remarks about Sanatan Dharm, arguing that it should be eradicated as it perpetuates the caste system and opposes the idea of social justice. The DMK is firmly behind him. They say he is not a political novice, and as sports minister, he put Tamil Nadu on the international map with tournaments from the chess Olympiad to tennis and hockey events. But the BJP and the AIADMK maintain that his elevation is nothing more than nepotism and dynasty politics above the interests of the state. Now, Udhayanidhi Stalin is only following in his father's footsteps, who was elevated in a similar manner. So the question remains, is this purely a booster for dynasty politics in the state, something that the state is used to, or is this a calculated move ahead of the 2026 assembly elections?
More of a responsibility than a post, so I'll definitely try to give my best for the people of Tamil Nadu. Definitely there will be a criticism only. Not everybody will be appreciative of you. I will definitely have to prove it only by my work.
See, this is one more example. They are proving the dynasty politics. They are thinking only for them family.
ये खानदानी सियासत और विरासत वाली पार्टियां इन कहीं भी तलाश करेंगी, ढूंढेंगी, तो बहुत दूर का भी, बहुत नज़दीक का भी कोई व्यक्ति होगा तो वो खानदानी सियासत और विरासत वाला ही होगा.
First thing is that he is accepted by the whole party and senior leaders. So he was made the deputy this year. There is nothing wrong in it, and the BJP cannot accuse him.
Let's open this up. Tom Vadakar, national spokesperson of the BJP, joins us. Syed Hafizullah, spokesperson of the DMK. Sanjay Rana, political analyst, is with us as well. Let me begin by asking the spokesperson of the DMK. The criticism that you face today is also because of how quickly Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin has risen up the ranks or the ladder. Up until 6 years ago, he hadn't shown any interest in being part of politics at all. From there to being the Deputy Chief Minister of the state, is it only because he is the son of M.K. Stalin?
Before answering to you, I just want to answer a lot of allegations that are made by the BJP leaders. They are talking about nepotism. Is that only a problem when BJP is elevating someone from the family? You don't have a problem with Nara Lokesh being the minister in Chandrababu's cabinet. You don't have a problem with H.D. Kumarasamy, who's a product of nepotism. His son Nikhil Kumarasamy is actively an MLA. His brother's son Ravana is an MP who you campaign for, and very many leaders in Tamil Nadu who you, according to your logic, are products of nepotism. You have come and campaign. You have absolute no problem with them. But when in an internal democracy of the party, where there is a body which decides on such vital matters, have decided to elevate my youth wing leader as the Deputy Chief Minister of a party, you have a problem. If the people who are in the alliance with you do the same thing, it is absolutely fine. That is a best example of democracy. When it happens in party who are opposing you, they become product of nepotism. You have Chirag Paswan there, you don't say anything about him. So all this is convenient for you. Coming to my party, see, my leader had always been a part of politics. He has campaigned 20-25 years ago for my leaders. So that time his situation was different. Then he came into cinema, he became popular, and he became one of the most known face. Any party for that matter wants to attract youth, and we see my youth wing leader as an icon who can attract youth into the party. So that is why this elevation has come up. And you're just behind elevation of youth wing leader. There are other first time people who have got ministry. You don't see that. We have given first time MLAs from Dalit community, one of the highest portfolios. The first time in this cabinet there are 4 Dalit ministers. You don't want to see all that. You just want to pick which will suit your agenda and try to make politics out of it. Then there is a problem that with the BJP and not with the DMK.
Tom Vadakan, this just reeks of hypocrisy of the BJP is the allegation against you that Udhayanidhi Stalin is not a man or not a leader without merit, and that should be seen. Credit should be given where it's due.
Poonam, it's very interesting to hear the DMK spokesman's desire to paint his party in glorifying format. Now, let me tell him one thing, that this is not, it is not a, rocket science or an astrologer that is required to predict Stalin's future course of action. He's probably, if they win, I repeat, he's probably heading to become the chief minister. He's the grandson of Karunanidhi. From Karunanidhi, it moves on to Stalin. And Stalin takes his name after Joseph Stalin, the Soviet leader. And there's some reports that Udhayanidhi Stalin was a member of the SFI. Be what it may, whichever membership he takes and comes out in public, we have no problem. Now, as to the question of DMK trying to plan for the next elections, I think there's an admission. The admission is that they are trying to attract the youth. Now, this misconceived concept that they have, that the youth will be attracted by somebody who's come out on nepotism, don't insult the Tamilian voters. When you have somebody who comes on from the back door to become deputy chief minister and then followed to become the chief minister.
But why do you say Tom Vadakan is the back door? Mr. Hafizullah, let him speak, please. He didn't interrupt you. Mr. Hafizullah, let him. I'll come back to you. I'll give you your time to rebut. I will give you your time to rebut. You made certain allegations against the BJP. Let the BJP also have their say, please.
No, but he's not answering to the allegations. He has not spoken about H.D. Kumaraswamy.
Sure.
But
he's responding to the allegation that you said of hypocrisy. He's saying it's not hypocrisy at all, that there is no merit.
Entry of Mr. Stalin's son.
Okay, Mr. Hafizullah, let's not do this, please. I'll come back to you.
That you have aligned with the Congress party where anarchy exists and an accepted fact. So the bonding has become thick. But yes, the people of Tamil Nadu will react. The youth is disappointed because they do not accept nepotism. So the reality will dawn when DMK goes to the polls.
But why do you say there is no merit at all, Tom Vadakan? As far as electorally is concerned, he's proved himself. The last time he contested elections, Udhayanidhi Stalin won by almost 70% vote share. He's been through the campaign as far as the assembly elections in 2021 were concerned, and he's consistently been there as far as a state minister is also concerned. So why do you think there's no merit at all? Just because he's the son of the chief minister, does that mean?
I'm asking about the people of Tamil Nadu. These are people from IIT Chennai. They are people from Vellore Medical College. These are youth who are aspirants, who expect something in life. And here's this backroom entry of a film star and an actor. The youth will come around. Come on, give me a break.
But then if that is the criticism, then the voters of Tamil Nadu will decide that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But coming back to the allegation that Mr. Hafizullah was making, that the BJP and its alliance partners have also seen its fair share of rise of Dynasty in the party. Why no noise then?
I mean, the line of the ascendance is very clear. You have Karunanidhi, you have Stalin, and now you have the son. This is not happening anywhere. A son may come into politics. Merit is accepted. We accept merit. Whether it is our allied partners or whatever, if they have merit, they are welcome. But this kind of backdoor entry, is not acceptable in civil society, in democratic practices. If you want to convert Tamil Nadu into a monarchy, sorry, that is not acceptable to the people of Tamil Nadu.
Okay, Mr. Hafizullah, 30 seconds for you to rebut before I get in the third panelist as well.
No,
but as far as
condemn this word. No, I absolutely condemn this word called backdoor entry, where many people in your cabinet, from Nirmala Sitharaman to the foreign minister Jaishankar, who haven't contested elections. So it is a backdoor entry that's very common in the BJP. But here we have a leader who has contested an election, who has been a minister. It is very ridiculous to say it's a backdoor entry.
It's too
insult to
quick,
the
which is why
democracy.
these questions are being raised. I mean, the same model
No,
was
too
followed
quick.
when
Please,
Mr. Karunanidhi was the chief minister and MK Stalin was made the deputy chief minister. But it took over a decade or more for that to happen, where MK Stalin did prove himself.
No.
This
That
rise
has to
is
be
too
decided
quick,
by
which
my
is why
party.
questions are being asked as the criticism.
That has to be decided within my party. He is telling that, see, in a democracy, you need support of the people. You don't have to be from Vellore Medical College or the IIT. It doesn't matter. We have an IAS who then IIM from your place has contested 2 elections and people have rejected him. So for winning people, you don't need big academia, but you have to be with the people and to understand emotions of the people, which my youth leader has done. That is why he has won. That is why his campaign is getting traction. So you do not estimate or you do not respect the voice and the mandate of the people. You say youth have rejected. Already in 2019, he campaigned. People were with him. They gave him 38 seats. In 2021, he campaigned. People gave majority to the DMK government. In 2024, he campaigned. People got connected with the voice and the emotions of what Udayana had to say. So you can sit in the studio and say that youth are not connected. You know what is happening in the BJP. People are going away from BJP in Tamil Nadu. So please introspect what is happening in your closet and not to come and comment about the emotion of Tamil Nadu and the intellect of the people of Tamil Nadu.
And in the end, it's up to the voters of Tamil Nadu, whether it's monarchy or whether it's merit, they will decide.
Yeah.
But Sanjay
So,
Rana, speaking
they
of,
decided that is why BJP
sure,
is out.
and 2 years later,
BJP is
2 years later, there is another election that's going to come around. So Sanjay Rana, are we going to be seeing a battle of young Turks, so to say? We have Vijay's entry. We have Udhayanidhi Stalin, who perhaps is going to be the face of the DMK 2 years later when that election happens. And then we also have another young Turk at the helm of affairs in the BJP, Mr. Annamalai. Is this the new generation of politicians that we are now seeing that would be the faces of the 2026 election?
Good evening, Poonam, and good evening to our fellow panelists. It's not surprising for me when people talk about the nepotism. If you look at any family-run parties, these kind of things are well expected. Whether it's a DMK, whether it's Samajwadi, whether it's RJD, whether it's a Congress, it's absolutely well accepted. Is going to happen. But when people talk about the democracy in the party, then I feel like to laugh, because democracy in the party. Do you have had any kind of election within a party? Do you think is 45-year-old young gentleman who's become a deputy chief minister, and congratulate him, but he's the only one? There was no young face in the party who can lead the party. Do you think it's possible? No, because they do not have any merit except they are coming from a special family background. If you look at the merit of Stalin, whether you look at merit of Tereshwar Yadav, whether you look at the merit of Rahul Yadav, Rahul Gandhi, what the merit they have? One is 54-year-old, another is 45-year-old. Do you think there is no young generation is there in DMK? There are so many intelligent people are there, including the spokesperson of DMK. I believe that is the most capable and intelligent than the son of Stalin. But he will not become a deputy chief minister because he is coming from the normal family. That when you have a tagline behind you, then you become a special person and you become a deputy chief minister. Tomorrow you will become a chief minister. If you want to contest any election across India, just a MLA election, you have to invest at least 10 years in the 10 to 15 years politics to get the corporator ticket. Forget about the MLA ticket. After MLA ticket, how you become a chief minister, forget it. It's the 30-40 years story. That's a difference. That's a problem with the Indian family-run politics. This is called a family-run politics. And I don't know. I'm absolutely, I'm not supporting BJP. BJP should not question these kind of people. These people will do this activity because they believe everything is the family. Family is the God. And whatever the God will say, the party will follow, and the people of Tamil Nadu or people of India, those where this dynasty politics is going, will follow it.
But this kind of politics is not new to the state of Tamil Nadu, and it has been rewarded in the past as well.
No,
so if that's the only concern, I don't think that's something that perhaps voters really care about.
Yeah, absolutely, Poonam, agree with you. It's nothing new in the Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu only see two film stars, obviously, Karumanidhi Saab and Jayalalitha Di. Apart from that, there's no other politician I have seen those who are seasonal politics. So, if you want to be seasonal politics, then you need to take the politics, take a politics as a career. But these people are not taking a politics as a career. They come up. Obviously, given in a spoon. Obviously, the golden spoon they give somebody's, serve them in platter. So that's they're enjoying the life. But as far as the politics concerned, for development of the state is concerned, these people are not at all bothered about. When people talk about the youth and democracy, when they talk about intelligence, they talk about the degree. I have a big question mark. All the family-run politicians, they have a degree. I fail to understand what kind of degree. I'm not talking about a piece of paper as a degree. Talking about the degree which has where people feel like to treat you as a leader. Do you think people of Tamil Nadu?
Well, time will tell whether people actually have faith in this kind of politics, whether it's the merit that people see, the voters of Tamil Nadu see, or is the monarchy tag that the BJP and the AIADMK have leveled against the DMK that sticks. Well, 2 years later, we are going to be seeing elections in the state and the voters will decide. 2 years is also the time for Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin to prove his mettle and perhaps silence his critics with the work he does or does not do. But I have to leave it at that. I thank you all gentlemen for joining us here on this broadcast and sharing your perspective. It is time for a quick break here on this edition of Plain Speak. But on the other side, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is sending another message to all terror groups including Hamas, Hezbollah and even to Iran. Stay tuned for that.
Co-powered by
Tabriz, there are tens of millions of good and decent people with thousands of years of history behind them and a brilliant future ahead of them. Don't let a small group of fanatic theocrats crush your hopes and your dreams. You deserve better. Your children deserve better. The entire world deserves better. I know you don't support the rapists and murderers of Hamas and Hezbollah, but your leaders do. You deserve more. The people of Iran should know Israel stands with you. May we together know a future of prosperity and peace. I speak a lot about the leaders of Iran, yet at this pivotal moment, I want to address you, the people of Iran. I want to do so directly, without filters, without middlemen. Every day, you see a regime that subjugates you make fiery speeches about defending Lebanon, defending Gaza. Yet every day, that regime plunges our region deeper into darkness and deeper into war. Every day, their puppets are eliminated. Ask Muhammad Def. Ask Nasrallah. There is nowhere in the Middle East Israel cannot reach. There is nowhere we will not go to protect our people and protect our country. With every passing moment, the regime is bringing you, the noble Persian people, closer to the abyss. The vast majority of Iranians know their regime doesn't care a whit about them. If it did care, if it cared about you, it would stop wasting billions of dollars on futile wars across the Middle East. It would start improving your lives. Imagine if all the vast money the regime wasted on nuclear weapons and foreign wars were invested in your children's education and improving your health care, in building your nation's infrastructure, water, sewage, all the other things that you need. Imagine that. But you know one simple thing. Iran's tyrants don't care about your future, but you do. When Iran is finally free, and that moment will come a lot sooner than people think, everything will be different. Our two ancient peoples, the Jewish people and the Persian people, will finally be at peace. Our two countries, Israel and Iran, will be at peace. When that day comes, the terror network that the regime built in 5 continents will be bankrupt, dismantled. Iran will thrive as never before. Global investment, massive tourism, brilliant technological innovation based on the tremendous talents that exist inside Iran. Doesn't that sound better than endless poverty, repression, and war? From Qom to Isfahan, from Shiraz to Tabriz, there are tens of millions of good and decent people with thousands of years of history behind them and a brilliant future ahead of them. Don't let a small group of fanatic theocrats crush your hopes and your dreams. You deserve better. Your children deserve better. The entire world deserves better. I know you don't support the rapists and murderers of Hamas and Hezbollah, but your leaders do. You deserve more. The people of Iran should know Israel stands with you.
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narasimhan. Now, during the ongoing search and rescue mission to recover the remains of personnel from the ill-fated Indian Air Force An-12 aircraft that crashed on the Rohtang Pass way back in 1968, the joint team has recovered the remains of 4 more individuals, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of Bharat's longest-running search and recovery operations, and the mission led by the Dogra Scouts of the Indian Army in collaboration with representatives of the Tiranga Mountain Rescue is part of the larger Chandrabhaga Mountain expedition, and they have done something phenomenal. After so many decades, the remains of 4 more individuals have now been recovered. Meanwhile, veteran actor Mithun Chakrabarti has been honoured with the Dadasaheb Phalke Award for his contributions to Indian cinema. The 3-time national award winner dedicated the award to those who have supported him throughout his career. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also congratulated the actor and called him a cultural icon. The Prime Minister added that he is admired across generations for his versatile performances. And Virat Kohli became the 4th cricketer to surpass 27,000 international runs during the second test against Bangladesh, only the second Indian after Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar. ICC chairman and BCCI